Most people wander through life believing that making more money is about luck, timing, or external opportunity, but the truth is that wealth starts in the mind. The brain is the engine of your financial reality. It determines the ideas you generate, the risks you take, and the actions you commit to consistently. If you want to make more money, you must first rewire your brain to think in terms of abundance, opportunity, and strategic execution. The first step in this process is to identify and transform limiting beliefs about money. Too many people operate under unconscious assumptions that keep them financially small. Money is scarce. I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve wealth, or rich people are greedy. These beliefs, often ingrained since childhood, govern every financial decision you make, whether consciously or unconsciously. They create resistance, hesitation, and self-sabotage, blocking the flow of wealth that is available to you. Transforming these beliefs is not simply a matter of positive thinking. It is about systematically challenging and replacing old patterns with empowering truths. Money is abundant and available to those who create value. I am capable of generating extraordinary wealth, and my success can serve others while creating financial freedom. When you consistently feed your mind these new beliefs, you change the neural pathways in your brain. Your thoughts begin to align with opportunity. Your emotions support action, and your behavior becomes consistent with wealth creation. The second principle of training your brain to make more money is to feed it with high-level knowledge, mentors, and empowering influences. Your mind grows in response to the input it receives. Surrounding yourself with people who think bigger, who have achieved what you aspire to, and who challenge you to grow is critical. Reading books, attending seminars, learning from experts, and consuming content that expands your understanding of finance, investing, entrepreneurship, and wealth creation strengthens the brain's capacity to generate opportunity. Your brain is a neural network that adapts to stimuli. The more exposure you have to high-level ideas, strategies, and models, the more capable your mind becomes of recognizing patterns, evaluating risks, and generating creative solutions. Conversely, if you fill your mind with doubt, scarcity thinking, or low-level entertainment, your brain adapts to those signals, reinforcing small thinking and limited action. High-level input is the fuel that transforms potential into execution. It teaches you how to leverage resources, maximize efficiency, and make decisions that generate exponential results. Visualization and mental rehearsal are the third tool in training your brain to make more money. The brain does not distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real-life experiences. When you see yourself successfully making deals, investing wisely, or creating new income streams in your mind, you are programming your neural circuits for real-world performance. Visualization strengthens confidence, reduces hesitation, and prepares you to act decisively when opportunities arise. But visualization is not about vague dreaming. It is about creating a detailed, emotionally charged mental movie of your success. Imagine the numbers in your account, the conversations you have, the decisions you make, and the challenges you navigate. Feel the emotions, the pride, the excitement, the satisfaction of solving problems and creating value. By rehearsing these scenarios repeatedly, your brain internalizes the patterns necessary for success. You begin to respond instinctively with clarity and confidence rather than reacting with fear or hesitation. Mental rehearsal builds preparedness, sharpens intuition, and accelerates results. The fourth principle is training your mind to embrace calculated risk and learn from failures. Most people avoid money-making opportunities because they fear loss, rejection, or embarrassment. But every millionaire, entrepreneur, and investor has faced setbacks. What separates those who succeed from those who fail is the way their brain interprets risk and failure. A trained mind sees failure as data, as feedback, as information to adjust strategy, not as a verdict on ability or worth. By reframing setbacks, you remove the emotional paralysis that prevents action and replace it with adaptive intelligence. Risk-taking is not reckless. It is informed, strategic, and deliberate. Each time you take a calculated risk and learn from the result, your brain builds resilience, confidence, and pattern recognition. Over time, this allows you to move faster, make better decisions, and capitalize on opportunities that others avoid out of fear. The ability to embrace risk intelligently and extract lessons from every outcome is a hallmark of financial mastery and a cornerstone of a wealth-focused mindset. Finally, consistent habits, routines, and disciplined action compound the results of all other mental training. Knowledge, visualization, and mindset are meaningless without execution. It is wired to reinforce patterns through repetition by creating daily habits that support wealth creation, reviewing finances, analyzing opportunities, networking, investing, skill development. You build neural pathways that make productive behavior automatic. Momentum builds with each consistent step, compounding into results far greater than isolated efforts. Consistency is the bridge between potential and performance. The daily disciplines of execution condition the brain to respond to challenges, stay focused under pressure, and maintain energy toward goals. Celebrating small wins reinforces neural circuits associated with success, while deliberate reflection on setbacks reinforces learning and adaptation. Over time, this disciplined approach transforms the way you think, act, and respond to financial opportunities, making wealth creation not just possible, but inevitable. When you integrate these 5 principles, rewiring limiting beliefs, feeding your brain high-level input, practicing visualization, embracing risk, and learning from failure and building consistent habits, you create a brain that is trained to generate wealth. Each principle reinforces the others. Clear beliefs guide action, high-level input informs strategy, visualization strengthens execution, risk mastery accelerates learning, and consistent habits compound results. This integrated approach rewires your neural circuits to focus on abundance, opportunity, and results, creating a mindset that naturally recognizes and seizes wealth-building possibilities. The brain becomes a powerful engine for financial growth, capable of generating ideas, making decisions, and taking actions that consistently produce results. This process is not instantaneous. It requires commitment, discipline, and daily application. The mind resists change, especially when it involves challenging old patterns and stepping into uncertainty. But the compounding effect of consistent mental training is extraordinary. Over time, you develop an identity as someone who generates opportunity, takes decisive action, and creates financial results that were previously unimaginable. Your brain no longer reacts to circumstances, it proactively shapes them. You begin to recognize opportunities that others overlook, make decisions with clarity under pressure, and execute actions that compound into wealth. The trained mind becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of growth, confidence, and financial performance. Your journey to financial mastery begins with a commitment to train your brain. Each day, feed it empowering beliefs, high-level input, mental rehearsal, calculated risk-taking, and disciplined execution. Every thought, decision, and action reinforces the neural patterns that produce wealth. Over time, your brain becomes a magnet for opportunity, a processor of strategy, and a generator of results. Wealth is not an accident. It is the predictable outcome of a mind trained for abundance, clarity, resilience, and consistent action. The more intentional you are about shaping your thoughts, habits, and decisions, the more extraordinary your financial outcomes become. The power to create wealth lies in your mind. The question is whether you are willing to commit to training it daily, consistently, and relentlessly until financial success becomes an inevitable part of your reality.